Hello, hello, believers. Good evening. How are you doing today? Well, I have already talked to you once today. I hope you're still doing well. I hope you're having a good day. I am having a much better day now. I finally got my car fixed. So got my car back, so I'm happy. It took about 3 days to pull it off. Things just kept going wrong, but I got it now. So I'm happy. I hope you're happy. I hope you are having a good day, feeling good. I hope that you have joined me for the Big D challenge in my Love After Cheating group. If you have not, you still got time. I'm not going to do the prize drawing until Sunday morning. So you got until Saturday night to be able to participate if you want to get prizes from me and work on your decision to heal after infidelity. So come on and join me. Hey there, Bling Believer. That Lori, right? Yeah. That's Lori. Hi, Lori. Oh man, I'm so glad that you're here with me today. Let me make sure I can see everything. Make sure I can see myself everywhere. So, how are y'all doing? I hope you're doing well. I am feeling good. I am ready to talk to you a little bit about getting on this healing path. So that's what we're gonna do, okay? So we're gonna start like we always start. Um, if you're here now or if you're on the replay, make sure that you give me likes, give me love, give me hearts, give me everything. Let me know. Hey, I see you over there on Instagram. Thank you for the follow, girl. Thank you. I want to bring some more people into my Instagram because for real, I'm gonna start doing more reels, more stuff over here. So yes, come join me. Join me. Charmene, hey girl, how you doing? All right. So we're here for the Healing Hour Live. And what are we here for? We are here to get on the healing path after infidelity. You have been through a trauma. You have been through the trauma of somebody that you love deeply, hurting you very much by cheating on you. Charmaine, I'm great. How you doing? I'm hoping everything's going well for you tonight. Things are much better for me now. Things are back on track. I got my car back. I'm feeling good. So I'm hoping that you're with me, you vibing with me tonight. But this is what we're here for. We're here to get back on the healing path after infidelity. You've been through this trauma, you've been through this pain with somebody you really love and really care about, cheated on you. And although everybody will tell you, girl, leave him. You should just kick him to the curb, girl. You can just let him go. Yeah, but you don't want to do that. You love this person. This is somebody that you want to be with. This is somebody that you want to work the relationship out with. And you're trying to work this out. So I'm here to tell you, I did it. I know how to do it. And I can tell you about getting on the healing path. Lori, I'm so glad. Yes. Thank you so much. I'm trying to give a little bit of different insight because it's not the way everybody says it is to try and heal from this. It really isn't. I found that a lot of the things that people were telling me to do were not working. And I am not big on repetitively doing something that doesn't work. If it doesn't work, I'm like, okay, well, I got to find a different way to do this. So I did. I found the dreams formula. I figured this out. I took what worked in my healing and applied it on a regular basis. And guess what? It worked. It's beautiful. So I want to share that with you. I always want to share that with you. And that's how you get on the healing path, is doing the actions of healing, doing what you possibly can. A lot of the advice out there will tell you to wait around and, oh, well, that other person, the person who betrayed you, has to do X, Y, and Z before you can even start to move on. And I feel like that's very limiting. I feel like if you want to heal, you can go ahead and start healing. Doesn't matter what they're doing. We've already figured out they're not making the best of decisions, okay? They are not on their best game right now. And if you are still, conscious of the fact that this is wrong and I should be able to heal from this, then you are better on your game than they are, and you can go ahead and start to heal yourself. So, you don't really need all that extra. That's why I only talk to women. That's why only women are in my group, because that is all you need. You only need yourself to start this process. Now, eventually they'll come around. If you're on your game and you are doing what I'm telling you to do, I'm trying to tell you, more than likely they'll follow along. They'll see, oh, she's really trying to heal. She's really trying to reconcile with me. Let me get on this. Let me get myself together. When it's all on the fence and they're a little nervous, they're like, I don't think we're gonna make it. She is not gonna ever forgive me. This is gonna be a terrible thing for the rest of our lives. It's gonna be something I gotta suffer for. I don't think we're gonna make it. When it's like that, it's harder for them to jump on the bandwagon. It's harder for them to get in with the healing. But if you're showing, hey, regardless of what you're doing, I'm going to heal. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to do what I need to do to get to a better place. Then they're like, okay, there's some hope there. And that's what I want you to know is there's hope. There is hope if you want to be with your person. And this is only for your person. I'm not saying this for random dudes, okay? Some random person that you just kind of hooked up with. No, I'm talking about your person, the person that you want to spend your life with, the one you want to spend all your time with. I'm talking about that person. I'm not talking about the randos, okay? We need somebody we are really loving and really feeling committed to be able to pull this off, because it's all about you. It's all about what you want. And if this is the person that you want, you should be able to go for that. You should be able to go after what you want right now without any shame, without any guilt. You should be able to do it. All right. And that's what I'm all about. I want you to be able to do what you want. I'm very feminist like that. I feel like you should get what you want. If what you want is to still be in this relationship, that is altogether possible. You can do it. So I want to show you how to do it. All right. So, of course, we're going to start where we always start. The thing that I'm always going to tell you every single time you talk to me, doing your deep breathing and doing your journaling. Have you been doing your deep breathing? Have you been doing your journaling? If you have not, I'm trying to tell you, you're doing yourself a disservice. You need to be doing some of the actions of just healing after a trauma. Those are healing things. Those are two things that you would do in any kind of trauma, not just being cheated on. You can apply journaling and deep breathing to anything bad that happens to you. Okay. So we're going to start with those two things because that is just basics. The foundations, the building blocks that you're going to need to get past this trauma. You need those two things. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do our deep breathing together. Now, I have a video on YouTube, on my Love Coach Dasha channel on YouTube, that walks you through the breathing. So if you can't find this one later on, you can go over to YouTube, hit that one. It says start here with the breathing, and it walks you through 5 times. And that's what I want you to do. 5 times a day. Not hard to remember, right? Practice this deep breathing technique, because what we're going to do is bring that anxiety level down from where it is. Right now, when you're traumatized, it's way up there. You can't even reach it. You can't get a grasp on it. But if you're doing your deep breathing, you're slowly bringing it down to a more manageable level, to the point where you can get a grasp on it. And so then when it spikes, it's not spiking way above your head. It's spiking somewhere near where you can reach it. All right. It's not overwhelming you. It's not going too hard for you. So we need to be doing this deep breathing 5 times a day. If you come to me and you're like, Dasha, nothing is working, I'm going to ask you first, are you doing your deep breathing? Okay. That's the first thing I'm going to ask you. Have you been doing your deep breathing? So check that before you hit me up. Let me know if you've done your deep breathing. You're like, okay, I still can't get it. Okay. All right. I will give you something else other than that. But the first thing I'm always going to say to you is do your deep breathing. So we're going to do it 3 times just for the sake of time. What we're going to do is we're going to blow out and make the sound. You want to make that noise because we're creating the trigger in our brain that sound means I'm calming down. That sound means I am taking back control of my breath. I am going to be okay. Laura, you said deep breathing. Check that. Good. 5 times a day. You need to be doing this. So blow out to empty out your lungs. Get rid of all that excess carbon dioxide that has been building up in there. Because when you're anxious, you sip breath instead of actually fully inhaling and exhaling. So you build up extra carbon dioxide. So the first thing is blow. Even if you can't remember your deep breathing, but you're having a hard time, you're having an anxious moment, you're freaking out a little bit, blow. Exhale. And then take a deep breath and do it again. It will calm you down almost immediately. It is a trigger in your brain that says there's too much carbon dioxide. I need to freak out. If you blow that extra carbon dioxide off, you will stop that alarm from happening in your brain. You said, how do you remind yourself to deep breathe? Set an alarm. Set it. This was a thing that one of the doctors I work with. I worked at a psychiatric facility for a while. One of the doctors would set his watch to have a mindful moment and take some deep breaths, and it did not matter where he was or what he was doing. He could be in the middle of a report with me. His alarm went off. He stopped whatever we were doing. He took a moment to deep breathe and just be mindful. So set an alarm. Make it be that every single time this alarm goes off, no matter what I'm doing, no matter where I am, I could be in the store, I could be driving, anywhere I am going to do my deep breathing as soon as that alarm goes off. Because you can do it anywhere. It's not like you need to be like sitting at home. You can do it anywhere you want to. So set that alarm. Do that. Go for it. It helps because then it reminds you, especially when you are in this traumatized state, your memory is not as good as it should be. So you will forget to do it, and then your anxiety will be raising slowly over time, and you don't even realize it. So if you set that alarm, you are consciously stopping, pulling that anxiety down to a better level every time you do it. All right, that makes sense? Gotta schedule things. Gotta schedule things that are important to you. All right, gotta schedule that self-care. All right, so we're gonna blow out. I told you about the carbon dioxide. Okay, we're going to inhale. You can inhale through your nose. If you can't breathe through your nose right now, I understand allergies or whatever. Just breathe in through your mouth for a count of 4. We're going to hold that breath for a count of 7. And then we're going to blow out again for a count of 8. I love it too, Lori. I'm loving that you're here with me. All right, go do it with me. We're going to do these deep breaths. So simple. 4, 7, 8. 4, 7, 8, 4, 7, 8. That's what we're going to do. All right. I will count it out for you. First thing you got to do is blow. Inhale through your nose. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last time. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Blow out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. How does that feel? How does it feel when you do your deep breathing? There's a lot of things that happen when you do that. You are taking back control of your body when you control your breath. When you are anxious, you will hyperventilate. You will breathe in and out really fast. You're not really fully using the oxygen that you breathe in. You're building up extra carbon dioxide because you're not fully breathing out. When you do that, when you change that and you start to do your deep breathing, you can get things like you start yawning. All of a sudden your body is like, oh, I'm so sleepy, because you finally get some oxygen up to your brain. It makes you yawn. It could be a little lightheaded feeling, a little oxygen high, totally free, totally legal, and it makes you feel a little tingly. It can make you feel smarter. Could make you feel like, I kind of cleared up the fog a little bit. I feel a little bit better. So tell me how it feels when you do your deep breathing. You said hubby's on his way home from work, so this is good. Yes, got to do your deep breathing before he gets there. Got to bring it down, because just so you know, the environment around you absorbs whatever it is that you are going through. If you're anxious and angry or tense or upset, when he walks through that door, he feels it. He walks right into a cloud of the emotion that you have been letting off. So if you do this deep breathing, center yourself, get yourself together before he gets home, guess what? He walks into the house and the house feels all clear. And he's like, oh, okay, I think we might be all right tonight. And it ends up being a better night than it would have if you had started off stressed. So yes, do your deep breathing. All right, that's the first thing. The second thing that we always talk about, we are always going to talk about as long as I'm doing the Healing Hour Live, is doing your journaling. You need to be journaling. If you are going through a trauma, they recommend you sitting down with pen and paper. I know a lot of people are got their phones, and I do journal a bit in my phone. I do, but I love pen and paper. I'm a big stationery girl, but opening that crisp page and taking pen and putting it to paper shows your brain that you are making a permanent record about what is going on. You are putting it down on paper. It is there. You can hold it. You can see it. So then a lot of the time your brain will let go of some of those negative thoughts that you're thinking because you wrote it down. You want to do a couple things when when you're doing your journaling. You want to do your date, you want to do your time, and you want to do your anxiety level. All right. So the date and time, you know why you need to do that? Because if you come back later on, you can find patterns in the dates and times. Sometimes you will find out that it's every night at 8:16 p.m. that you are feeling some kind of way. Or you will find out that it's every Friday that you get anxious. So you will be able to tell patterns better if you have the date and the time written down. But doing your anxiety level is 0 to 10. How messed up are you at the moment? Okay. How stressed are you feeling? 0 is no anxiety at all. You're fine. Everything is okay. God's in his heaven, is all is right with the world. Okay. Usually you're not really journaling if you're all calm like that. You're just enjoying the feeling. But make a note of it. Make a note. If you're at a 0, hell yeah, put that down. That 816 on 1/20/22, I am feeling great. I am a 0 out of 10. Things are going well. You need to have a record of that because the trauma will tell you everything is always bad. And so you need that record written down of, I did not feel bad then. Not everything is bad because I felt pretty good then. And you can start fighting back against the trauma thoughts that are very insistent and loud in your brain because you'll have evidence. You wrote it down when it happened. You're like, no, good things do happen to me. So you got to write that down. If you're a 10 is usually a loss of control. A 10 is I can't sit down and open my journal and write in it because I am freaking right out. Okay. That is, I want to rip my hair out, tear my clothes off, run screaming down the street naked. That is a 10. Anything less than that is not a 10. Okay. Just remember that I am out of control of myself. Things like I was working at a psychiatric facility and the lady was like, well, I've been at a 10 before. I said, okay, well, what was a 10? Because, most people are telling me 10 and it's not a loss of control. It's not that bad. But she was like, well, yeah, I jumped out of a moving car once. Yes, that's a 10. But I agree. Yeah, you're right. Because that's a loss of control. You are not even thinking anymore. So chances are you're not going to be able to journal. But if you're sitting down to your journal, chances are you're not at a 10. So you can be like, okay, well, I'm probably not a 10. Maybe I'm a 9. You can say you're a 9. So at the end of the journaling session, you can come back and write down what your anxiety level is after you've written. And you will find that there's usually a difference. Usually you have calmed down some just putting some of this stuff to paper. Okay. And when you I forgot what I was gonna say. When you write this down, it's going to make it so that you have data you can go back to and you can reference and you can say, okay, yeah, I did have a few bad days there, but we had a good long stretch where it was like really okay for a while. You will have that data to look at and be able to reference back to when you're feeling really bad and feeling like things are just not going well. You have that in there. All right. So the reason that we do the 0 to 10 thing is so that we put a boundary around how bad you can feel, because bad feelings will just keep on multiplying. You'll feel like it will never end. It'll get worse and worse and worse, and you're always going to feel like that. That's what it feels like. But when you put that fence around it, it can't get any bigger than a 10. It is no bigger than that. It is no bigger than I have lost my mind and I am running down the street naked. It's no worse than that. It can never be a 20. It can never be anything worse than that. So you can always get a grip on it. You can always think, okay, it can't be any worse than a 10. So it's probably a 9. So if I just do some deep breathing, I can maybe get down to a 7. All right. So you can get some concept of how big it really actually is. All right. Does that make sense? Deep breathing, journaling. I don't care what kind of journal you use. As you see, I have I don't know, I got a whole bunch of journals back here. Fuzzy, that came from the Dollar Tree. This one came from Five Below. Everyday calm is peaceful, tranquil, peaceful prompts for tranquil moments. Isn't that interesting? I have all types of journals. I love journals. Like I said, I love stationery, so I buy them all the time. And I'm giving them out as presents and prizes for the Big D Challenge. So if you're participating in that, you're going to get one of those journals. All right. So those first two things I'm always going to tell you. And then we got to go to getting your mind right. All right. That's why I always do Thirsty Thursday. I always do positive things. Give me something good. Give me something wonderful that happened to you today, because I know that the trauma will always tell you everything is bad. I know it will say that, but that's a lie. The trauma will lie to you a lot. Okay. You cannot believe everything the trauma says. So if you are consciously acknowledging the good things, the triumphs, the things that you need to celebrate, then you have something to fight back against those negative thoughts with. You are being conscious and mindful of, wait a minute, good things still do happen to me. All right. It's a good thing. You got to go. All right. I'll see you a little later, Lori. Catch it on the replay. All right. So for Thirsty Thursday, Bambi said the youngest went to school full time, which means hubby and I can start working the same shift again. I remember that, Bambi. When me and my husband, I work nights and he worked days, and that's just how it had to be because somebody had to be at home with the kids. We figured out that it was pointless for him to work and pay daycare. It was like he was all going out the door. So I had to work nights, he had to work days. That's how it is when the kids are little, but they're old enough to go to school now. Yay! I know that's good. So you can work the same shift again. He's starting his new job today. Yes. And we are excited about being home together at night again. It's so good when you get to do that again. I'm so excited for you, Bambi. It's like a whole new level. It's like you're entering a whole new experience in life when you got the kids old enough that you all can go to work at the same time and then be home at the same time. It's great. Oh, I'm so happy for you. So good things are happening for Bambi and her honey. They're getting closer. Things are going well. I'm loving it. Then what else we got? Oh, you got to remember the good stuff. And then you also have to do some self-care. I have been doing self-care Saturday, and I'm going to make sure that I start shouting out to people who are doing their self-care, because doggone it, that's important. You are supposed to be doing good stuff for yourself. If you do good stuff for yourself, you will feel good. It will start to lessen the effects of the trauma and of the betrayal. So you can do these good things for yourself and feel better on your own. You don't need anybody else for them. So Beth says she's taking some time off from the housework that day to rest her bones. She says she'll be back at it soon enough. Yeah, don't we always? You can get a rest from it, but it's not like the housework ever goes anywhere, right? Alicia, you said, I wrote in my journal a couple times today. Oh, you a couple of times. Go ahead on, girl. I took a really long hot shower, and that actually made me feel better. A lot going on with my husband today, so I needed to do at least a couple of things to keep from crumbling in front of my kids. Exactly. And that's what it is. It gives you enough to keep working. It gives you enough to keep going. There's a saying, you can't pour from an empty vessel. You cannot keep giving of yourself if you're empty. If you're not taking care of yourself, if you're not doing anything for this vessel, you are going to be pooped. You're not going to have anything to give. And then you're going to be stressed because your relationship is going to be suffering and you're going to be suffering. So you got to take care of yourself first. Like they say on the airplanes, you need to put the oxygen mask on yourself first before you try and go put an oxygen mask on other people. You got to take care of you so that you're able to take care of other people. You can't keep doing it if you're just going and taking care of everybody else. Allie, you said my daughter's randomly conference called me for a fun philosophical discussion. Oh, it's so nice when your kids just want to talk to you, isn't it? It's so nice. My daughter came down and talked to me last night. I was like, she wanted to talk to me. I felt like such a geek. But yes, isn't it nice when they want to talk to you? Excellent. I am glad. That's some awesome news for Thirsty Thursday, Allie. It's always nice when you just get those unexpectedly pleasant moments. Life does have those. Even in the midst of a trauma, life has those really good, really happy, really genuine moments. And you got to be in them. You got to be mindful of them. You got to pay attention. You got to be grateful for them. Because if you're not paying attention, if you're not mindful, if you're not actually living in it, you're going to always think everything is bad in your life. You're going to just be stuck. And it's awesome that happened for you. I'm glad to hear it. All right, let's see. What else do I got? So your self-care, your breathing, your journaling, your thinking good thoughts, being grateful for the good stuff that happens in your life. Excellent. That's all the basics. That's the basic stuff that you need to be doing if you're trying to heal this. You need to be working on these things. consistently, not just one time. Okay, once this month I took care of myself, I took a long hot shower. No, 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 honey. I'm talking about make yourself one of the priorities. You think everybody else is important, you got to think you're important too. Just because this trauma has happened to you does not lessen how important you are to your family, to your children, to your spouse. So you need to be taking care of yourself to make sure that you're still there for them, that you're able to still be there for them. All right. All right. Let's see. What do we got next? We got the and cards. This is a couple of cards just from the and the healing edition deck. And I always do this because these are really good questions. If you're trying to heal after infidelity, these are really good questions that you can use to build up that intimacy again without consistently talking about what they did wrong. All right. I know it feels like to be able to get closer, you have to keep talking about the infidelity. That is not getting you closer. It is pushing you further away. It's re traumatizing you every time that you talk about it. That's why you have such a hard time. That's why the conversations never go well, because you're traumatized. You are experiencing your trauma over again when you keep talking about it. But these give you something to talk about that is about the relationship, but not about what the person did wrong. Because nobody wants to keep talking about that. Do you want to keep talking about what you did wrong? I sure don't. Okay. When I mess up, I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, I did it. Yes. But can we please stop talking about it? I'm okay. I'm embarrassed. I don't feel good about it. I know I was wrong. You don't have to keep throwing it in my face telling me I was wrong. I'm aware. You are like that, and I know everybody's like that. Nobody wants to be told that they did something wrong, they did something bad, and talking about it each and every day is miserable for both of you. So let's move beyond that. All right. So gonna pick about 3 cards from this deck just to talk. He said, what do you hope your love feels like? I like that one. That's a lot of things. That is getting all deep into their psyche on that one. What do you hope your love feels like? I enjoy that question. I hope my love feels like, I don't know. I hope it feels like lavender puffy clouds. I hope it feels like strength. I hope it feels like security. I hope it feels like all the colors of the rainbow. Like I hope it feels like lights. Like I don't know. That's weird. But that's a good question. That's something deep that you can ask your honey. And it's not about the infidelity, but it's about how they are perceiving love. And that's an excellent thing to ask about. All right. Let's see. Let's pick another one here. What are you going to take away from this conversation? This is a good one for the end of the conversation. What are you going to take away from this conversation? What did you get from this? Because you need to check about that sometimes when you're trying to communicate with one another. You need to know what it was that they heard, because you talking. There's this exercise I do with couples when I do premarital counseling, where they are given a very simple picture, very basic shapes, lines, stuff like that, and they are supposed to tell their mate what is on the page and have their mate draw it. Very simple exercise, but it's very eye-opening because nobody speaks the same way. You have to get really in depth and detail to be able to relay exactly what you're seeing on the page to another person so that they can write it on the same page. And you recognize how differently you communicate through that. I see it all the time. People are very general, very vague. And what I'm saying, the other person can't ask any questions. They just have to follow the instructions. So if you're very vague, then the other person is not going to get the message fully. If you get into too much detail, sometimes they get a little confused. So it's a very interesting process to watch when I work with couples. But I'm trying to tell you, your communication is never as clear as you think it is. It's never that way, because everybody is living in their own little universe. Everybody's brain is their own universe. And so communication, words, verbal and nonverbal, always mean a little bit different to each individual person. So you got to allow for that. You got to take the time and say, okay, wait a minute. I know that the way I'm communicating may or may not make it to your understanding. So it's one of those things that you got to remember as you're trying to communicate with your honey. All right, one more. If you had the time, where would you spend it? All right, I like that one. That sounds like a good vacation question. If you had the time, where would you spend it? Oh, mine is always with like the four people in my house: me, my husband, my kids. Like I'd spend all my time here if I possibly could. I wouldn't leave them for anything. I love being with these people. All right, so that's good stuff. Got a good exercise. Got you some questions that you can ask your honey. Now, I guess we go ahead and move on to the questions. Do you have any questions for me? Any comments, thoughts, complaints? Am I making sense? Am I like crazy? Have I said anything that's nuts yet? I always ask people if they think that I'm crazy because a lot of people do. A lot of people are like, you would really forgive for all of that? Yes. For your person, for the right person, you can forgive a lot. You are really experimenting with the concept of unconditional love. And everybody talks about it. Everybody wants unconditional love. There's a meme on Facebook that said everybody wants unconditional love, carrying around a bag full of conditions. And this is one of those things that makes you put the damn conditions down. It makes you be like, okay, well, I thought I had conditions, but this person has extended my boundaries, and I feel like I can make it. I can go ahead and love on this person anyway, forgive this person anyway, because this is my honey. So, it's weird to discover that, to figure out that you're capable of actual unconditional love. You thought that there were these conditions, and come to find out they aren't. All right. All right. Let's see. What do I have? I had good questions today. Oh, let me talk to you about the dreams formula real quick. Let me go over that real quick. I always want to tell you what the dreams formula is. Hey, Lou. I always want to tell you about what the formula is, what you're going to be doing that is going to help you heal. These are actions. These are things that you can actually do to start yourself down a healing path. And then you can always come back to them. You can always go back to the beginning. You can go back to the last step if you need to go back. You can skip ahead a little bit. You can go all through the process, but every step is going to help you in your healing. All right. So the first thing is doing the decision. That's what we're doing with the Big D challenge. It is a big decision to be able to heal after infidelity. And that's okay. You can make those big decisions. You are grown up. You can do it. I know you can. You got to know what you want and then be willing to experience the discomfort that comes with chasing what you want. And it's a little uncomfortable. Yes, it is, but it's not comfortable trying to get anywhere really good. Anywhere that you really want to be, it's never going to be super easy to get there. Okay. It's always going to be a little bit of a problem trying to do it. All right. The R is for recognizing and overcoming the fear speech. Okay. The issues, the internal and external fears of yourself and the people around you around trauma. Most people who have experienced being cheated on, because it's a very universal experience, a lot of people have stayed. And so a lot of people will tell you, oh, you shouldn't stay, even though they've stayed. You shouldn't stay because that's going to cause you more pain. That's going to cause you more trouble. And that is them speaking about their fears. Well, it caused me pain. It caused me trouble. I was never able to get over it. So you are not going to be able to get over it too. But you are not like everybody else. You got to remember that as you go through this process. Other people will try and tell you how to do this, and they will try and make you feel like you're just like everybody else, and you're not. You are trying to do something big and spectacular. You are trying to forgive and get past this and reconcile and be with the person that you love. So you're not like everybody else. Everybody else is like, screw them, I'm out. Right? So you can't listen to those fears. All right. I'm gonna come back to you. Hold on. I see what you're saying. The E is evaluating the why. Why did this happen? Sick, sad, stupid are my three categories. Sick is real physical illness. Something is wrong with you, like mental illness. It could be hormonal imbalance. It could be long-term illnesses like cancer. It could be like a heart attack, all sorts of things. Those are physical reasons that people behave differently. When you are in a situation where you are sick, your entire operating system is changed. I spent 20 years as a nurse, and I know that people who are in the hospital do not act the same as people who are outside the hospital. So when you are sick, this is happening to you. Autoimmune disorders, all sorts of stuff. Then there is sad. Sad is a loss of some kind. We are all going through loss right now. We had a year of quarantine. We've had this pandemic. We have had people around us that we love pass away. We have had lots of loss of the way that we used to live. It's not the same as it was, so that's a loss. People experience the loss of their relationship, feeling like they're not close anymore, feeling like they're not together anymore. Like real grief, really actually losing a person, all those things, sadness, loss of some kind, even loss of your own identity, feeling like you are not who you are supposed to be. A lot of men tend to feel like that. If they're not being who, they're not living up to their own expectations of their life, they get a little funny acting. Yeah. A is for allowing the healing to happen. You have to let down your walls. You have to do the things couples do. You can't be continuously talking about the hurt if you want to heal. That's what it is. You can't be wallowing in the hurt if you're trying to heal. M is for managing the future feelings. You're triggered and you need to figure out what to do about that. So this is a plan for figuring out where your triggers start in your body, where it is, what happens to you, and then monitoring for that feeling when it's small and not huge, when it's a little bitty monster instead of a big monster. Using your senses to try to soothe yourself after you've been triggered, doing your deep breathing, all of those exercises, all the things that you can do for triggers you're going to do. And then S is for support. S is for me. It's for getting someone who understands what you are trying to do and is on your side. Is on the side of the relationship too, not just on your side, because you will think kind of negatively sometimes. You need to have somebody who is on the side of your relationship, somebody who is like, wait, no, you're kind of flipping out, you're assuming the worst. I don't think that's what's going on with him. Maybe you need to talk about it, maybe you need to calm down, but come on back in. Don't jump, don't go out on the ledge. I need you to be with me for a minute. The people that will calm you down and not hype you up to get to a place where you are so worked up that you end up blowing up the whole relationship. That's what you need. You need real support, not people who are going to tell you to leave, not people who are going to tell you that you're stupid, not people who are going to come back and report and tell awful things to you. None of that. You need somebody who's going to support you. All right. So yeah, that's the dreams formula. Let me know if you have any questions about that. That's my thing. I made that up. It's I am very proud of it too, because those steps were all the things that I kept doing. When I did those things worked better. If I was not doing those things, if I was not doing any of the dreams formula, if I was not relying on my own decision, when I was not battling against the fear thoughts, when I was not figuring out the why and understanding that, when I was not allowing myself to heal, when I was not managing those triggers, when I was not getting the support that I needed, I was doing than when I actually did those. All right. So once I figured that out, guess what? I healed. All right. Oh, goodness. Hey, Beth, I saw you. Hey. Oh, I get the love. All right, so let me see. Charmaine, you posted, my boyfriend asked me to be natural, not wear color, contacts, or color my hair. He chats with the exact opposite half my age. How do I stop myself from feeling bad? How do I stop myself from being at a 10 and wanting to pack my things and run away? Okay, couple things. All right. The whole thing is that he thinks that you're beautiful without all that. He thinks that it is wonderful to look at you. He thinks that your natural hair, your natural eyes, your natural everything is gorgeous to him. The fact that he cheats with something different does not mean he prefers that. It only means that it's different from you. If he was going to cheat, it'd be stupid to cheat with somebody who looks just like you. What was the point of that? Men like variety. They like to see different things. They like new stimulation. But when it's you, they want you to be familiar and comfortable. Now, I'm not saying don't color your hair. I'm not saying that, because again, this is your body. This is something that you want to do and you want to feel good about yourself. If you want to do that, do that. He'll be all over you. He will tell you not to do it, but then later on he's looking at you and you look different and he'll be all over you. Okay. But just to recognize that's what it is. It's not about like preferring somebody other than you. It is because he prefers you just the way you are. And then if he was going to go off and cheat, it would have to be somebody who was very different from you. Does that make sense? All right. And then the other part is, how do you stop yourself from being at a 10? Now, see, you're not at a 10. If you have not packed your stuff and walked out the door, you're not actually at a 10. You are a little bit less than you think you are. You may be at a 9, but you're not at a 10. So what you need to do, first of all, start your breathing. Do your deep breathing, okay? Figure out what's going on. Why is it that you want to run? Because a lot of the time, the trauma response is to run. That is it's named that, fight or flight. It's either you want to fight or you want to run away real fast. One of the two. Your body will get ready. You will start to feel it in your body before you feel it anywhere else, before you consciously acknowledge that you are really like this and you're feeling anxious and stressed out and wanting to run. You will feel it in your body first before it becomes a conscious thought. So pay attention. Pay attention to your body and make sure that you are not letting a little bitty tension grow and grow and grow because you haven't been paying attention to it. That's what happens with a lot of people. People do not realize that the trauma starts small and it starts really insignificantly. And then if you don't do anything about it, it's like, oh, she doesn't notice, and it starts to grow. So what you have to do is figure out where in your body do you feel it? And then try to work that feeling, try to massage that feeling, listen to that feeling. What is that feeling trying to tell you? What is it screaming about? Is what it's screaming about even true? Because a lot of the time what that terrified feeling is screaming is not true. It's just fear being projected at you. Soothe that part. Talk to that part like you're its best friend. Pet it up. Make sure that it knows that you are safe and you are calm and you are making choices to be where you want to be. And this is your honey. You can pack your stuff and run off if you want to, but you're going to come back. So you might as well go ahead and just stick it out. Take some deep breaths, do your journaling, do some self-care, and go ahead and call it a night. Go get some rest. Always some water too. Some water will help. A lot of the time, I know everybody tells you to drink water, but drink some water. When you're feeling all woody like that and everything is going wrong, just stop for a few minutes, go get some water. You might be a little dehydrated, and you don't function as well when you don't have as much water. People don't eat or drink as well as they're supposed to when they're going through a trauma because your digestive tract slows down. So if you don't do that, then you're going to be not at your peak because you're not getting enough calories, you're not getting enough fluid, and then your body is sluggish. It's not doing what it's supposed to do. All right. Does that make sense? He said, Shamin said, I did a few times and even called the cops to kick him out. And you didn't even want him to leave, did you? Like, really, honestly, did you want him to leave? Don't call the cops on your husband. Unless it's really actually serious, like he's actually doing something to put you in harm's way. Don't call the police for regular arguments and domestic disputes. Don't do that because that's a trust issue. You know what I mean? That's what the first thing is. You are calling for the authorities to try and like muscle him out of his own house just because we are having a disagreement as a couple. Don't do that. You say you feel bad. I know it's hard because it's like you get so overwhelmed and you feel like that is like the only thing you can do, just get out of my face. But that is the trauma talking. The trauma wants to separate. The trauma wants to isolate you. It does not want you to be near anybody. It doesn't want you to be around folk because people are dangerous and somebody might hurt you. That's what your trauma is trying to get you to do. So when you fall for that, when you go along that hurting path instead of along the healing path, you don't get to where you need to be. You end up making mistakes that mess your whole relationship up and mess up a whole day, week, month of good progress because you're just freaking out because the fight or flight response is kicked in. So that's what that is. It's usually just that fight or flight response. When you're feeling like that, check your body, figure out where you're feeling it the most. People will have there's small signs that you can think of first. Some people get it in their chest. Some people get tightness around their head. Some people get it's a metallic taste in their mouth. Um, and that adrenaline, it's adrenaline, that's that metallic taste in your mouth. When you get really anxious, your body will spurt that adrenaline in, and you'll taste it even before you recognize a lot of other symptoms going on in your body. So pay attention to how you're feeling physically, and then try and work on that particular feeling, and then come on and do some self-care for yourself. Go take a hot shower if you need to. Find something that's easy to break, that you can break, that you're not going to be mad about breaking later, and go break it. Like, go smash something against the wall if you need to. You can do that. You can let some of that activity out. You've got this adrenaline rush going, so do some exercise. Run around the house a couple of times. Burn some of that off so that it's not just sitting in you trying to make you do something, make you react. You don't want to have to react. You want to be able to think about what you're doing, and then act according to what you want your life to be, instead of what the trauma is trying to make your life to be. All right. Does that make sense, Shamin? Let me know. Let me know. Anybody else? Anybody got questions? Ask me. Ask me. I am happy to answer all your questions. I love talking to you people. I love it. It makes me happy. All right, Beth. Beth, you gave me a whole bunch of questions. Okay, good. All right, Beth gave me plenty to talk about right now. All right, let's see. Beth said the urge to snoop is so strong sometimes. It is. It stays really strong for a little while. There's not too much you can do about that. It's a strong feeling, but you just have to remind yourself, just because I feel it doesn't mean that I have to do it. You are not forced into anything. Your brain has created this feedback loop. It's that, okay, I'm not looking, so there might be something in there. I'm anxious about that, so I need to look. Okay, that I looked. All right, I feel a little bit better, a tiny bit of relief, because it's not usually a lot. And then, okay, that wears off, and now I need to look again. So when you look, you are reinforcing that feedback loop. You are telling your brain that that's the way that you're going to feel better. And so it may work for a couple seconds. It gets a shorter and shorter time every time that you do it. It's just like drugs. It's just like falling into that. That first time you go look and there's nothing, and you're like, yes, and it's euphoric and you're great. And then the next time it's not, it doesn't feel that good. And then the next time after that, it does not feel as good as it did the last time. So you get diminishing returns from the snooping. Going all through somebody's stuff is wrong too. You got to remember that part too. I know that every other group, every other like guru or whatever will tell you it's fine. Your person should just be transparent. You should be able to go through their phone at any time when you feel like it. No, because you can't go through my phone anytime you feel like it. Okay, that's my property. I understand that we are one. I get that. We are together. We love. Yeah. But it's still my stuff. And I have been taught my entire life. Signs and symptoms of an abusive relationship was, okay, he's going to try and control your stuff, and you can't have any privacy, and he's going to look, and he's going to be wondering what you're doing all the time, and he's going to check on your phone calls, and he's going to be harassing your friends. Isn't that what they're telling you to do? That is a sign of an abusive relationship in any other circumstance. But people are like, oh, because he cheated, it's fine. No, it's still abusive. It's still toxic. You can't keep doing toxic things and be on the healing path. It doesn't work. What you put out, you get back. So you got to focus on that. You got to try and make sure that you're doing the positive healing things, not listening to the fear, because that's what it is. That urge to snoop is the fear screaming at you, telling you, you got to look, you're going to miss something, you've got to know. And then it's just, even if you did find something, you're just trying to make yourself even more miserable. Like, no, we're not going to listen to the fear. No more listening to the fear. That is the big takeaway that I want you to get from working with me, from hearing me, from talking to me. Do not do what the fear is telling you to do, no matter what it is. I don't care how logical it seems, but if it's coming from this place, that thumping in your heart, that anxious feeling, you're like, I gotta do this because it's gonna make me feel a little bit better. It's not gonna make you feel better. That's a trick. It is a trick of your brain, and it's going to make things worse when you do it because it's gonna make you feel bad. Because then you're snooping, and when you're snooping, you're doing something wrong, and you know you're doing something wrong, and that creates anxiety too. It's just a big old loop. It's a big old mess. So there's less good than there is bad about it. You got to remember what all of the bad stuff is and not go do it. Okay. I know it's hard to just not do it. It is. It's difficult. It took me a while, but it was like every time I reach for his phone, I'd be like, picturing my fingers getting hot. That's what I would do. I'd be like, oh, no, no, no. That's hot. Put that down. That's not mine. That's not for me. Now, my husband will leave his phone around me all the freaking time now. Yeah, especially at first thing in the morning when he's still got alarms going off, he will still leave it with me. But I don't have to worry about it. It's there. I don't have to sit there and stop myself from snooping. I have trained myself that it's not a good thing to do, so I leave it alone. Because I don't want him going through my phone. That's again a sign of abuse. That was one of those things that I was taught in health class when I was young. Okay, these are things that you need to look out for as an abusive relationship. And then when people were trying to get over infidelity, they're like, "Oh yeah, you can do that. That's fine." No, it's not. It's not okay. It's not all right. All right. Let's see. What else you got for me, Beth? Beth said also how to move on from past infidelity. There's more suspicious hint at a time he might have cheated. For example, okay, several months back I was looking at our cell phone bill and I came across a number that was a massage parlor. It was a different spa than the one that he admitted going to. Sometimes random connections come to my mind and my anxiety creeps in and my heart and thoughts start racing and I have a fight with myself to ask him about it. See, the thing is about that, you've already gotten past this. You have already decided, and that's why the dreams formula is good, because you got to go back to the beginning of the formula. Have I decided? Have I decided that I'm going to forgive and I'm going to move past this? Yes, I have. So there are going to be details. There are going to be details that come up, that come to the surface much later on. And it always happens. But the thing is, you don't have to go back and ask about those details. That is not giving you anything. It's not making your life any easier. It's not making the healing any easier. It doesn't give you anything except for more ammunition for the trauma to use against you. That's all it does. So if you want to believe the absolute worst, if you want to believe that this was another massage parlor, feel free. Go ahead and believe that. But you've already moved past it. You've already said what you want. You knew back then that he had cheated. You knew that you wanted to continue the relationship. You've already made that decision. You've already been moving forward with it. So you don't have to keep going back to it. Your brain will tell you you need all the answers. That's a lie. That is not true. Again, that's another one of those trauma tricks to isolate you. It is to make you pull back so that you're not close because, oh, I have all these questions, so I can't be close to you if I have all these questions for you. That is not true. It's not true. It's not real. I know that your brain will tell you that, but it's not. You can heal just fine without knowing all the little teeny details that will just make your life miserable to know. You can heal without that. I promise you can. And then you ask, plus, all that leads to believe he is lying and has lied to me numerous times. I just want to move on. And that's the thing. You got to come back to your decision. It's always about what you decided to do. You have to decide, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to move on. I don't want to be stressed about this anymore. And yes, I'm going to experience some fear about that. Yes, I am, because that is a scary thing to do. I am practicing unconditional love, and that is some scary shit, okay? That is something that is going to make me feel anxious as a person because I am letting down walls that people tell me are not good to let down. But I don't see what's wrong with offering unconditional love to one person. You're not saying everybody in the whole wide world can just get away with whatever they want to. You are saying this is the exception. This person is your exception to being worried about all of that. You are going to accept this person and you are going to move on even though they have done something wrong. You don't have to forgive anybody else. Anybody else in the whole wide world, you do not have to. You are not required to. I am asking you to do one person. That's it. Nobody else in the world can get the amount of love and forgiveness and understanding that my husband can get. Nobody, not even my kids, get the same amount of love and understanding and compassion and giving and loving that he gets. Nobody else gets that. All right. And I say that about the kids because the kids are going to leave. They're going to have their own relationships. They are going to have their own marriages. They're going to go out. They're going to leave us alone. And then it's still going to be just me and him. And we're going to have to make it. So he has to be the special one for me. I know a lot of people get all wrapped up in, oh, I gotta treat the kids just as special as my husband. I don't think so. I don't think you do, because the point is you are raising them to leave. You are not raising them to be your companion for life. You are raising them to get out on their own and go do their own thing and live their own life and leave you and your spouse together by yourselves dealing with one another. So it cannot be that, the children are just as important as your primary relationship. Your husband is your primary relationship. It just is the truth. I know people have kids from before, and I understand that. I get, you feel like you don't want to like betray them, make them feel like, oh, they're less than because you have married somebody, but they need a good example. They need to see that you were in a relationship and doing the relationship thing. So, it's not a bad thing for your children to see you being in a strong relationship where you consider each other and you are each other's favorite people and you do things for each other above and beyond everybody else. That's not a bad example to show them. It doesn't mean that they are unloved. It just means that this relationship between me and your dad or me and your stepdad is super special. It is just a marriage. It is just us. It is our little bubble. And I understand that, you all are here and I'm going to always take care of you, always going to love you. But this relationship has to be my special one. This one has to be my primary one. But the whole lying thing, people lie. It's so hard because people lie. People do that. It's hard to recognize. It's hard to understand that the fact that most people lie out of fear. People feel like people are lying to hurt you intentionally, and that's not the case. Most of the time, people are lying out of fear that you are going to hurt them. More than likely, a lot of the time, that's what it is. They feel like you're going to hurt them, or they might hurt you. They might hurt you by what they're saying, but it doesn't mean that they don't want to love you. It doesn't mean that they're not happy with you. Okay, it doesn't mean that just because people lie. Stupid stuff happens all the time. People lie and tell little white lies about things all the time just to try and shelter people's feelings. So, try not to stress too hard about that. If it's something that's important, hopefully he will tell you what the truth is. But if it's something little and you're like, yeah, he didn't tell me the truth about that, that wasn't right. Don't let it be like a huge thing to you. Don't let it be like, oh, that's so important that he told this little white lie. When you try and make it bigger than it is, make lying bigger than it is. Some people are like, oh, if you lie, you steal. If you steal, you kill. Yeah, I know it's the whole thing. But if this person is afraid, and that's mostly what lies come from, then you can understand why they wouldn't necessarily tell the whole entire truth. And no guy is telling every little detail of the infidelity. They're not trying to do that. You may keep asking and you may keep getting more and more details, but no guy is like, yes, I'll tell you everything. Here is all the shameful, terrible things I did. Nobody wants to do that. Right? Let's see. Allie said, how do I stop from feeling he is getting off way too easy? Oh, he's not, Allie. He's not. You are going to make him suffer. You probably made him suffer quite a bit already. Have you not? He is not getting off easy, okay? He knows what he did. He knows it was terrible. He knows how much you're hurting, and he knows that you can bring it up at any given time, okay? He is not thinking that he got off easily. He is not thinking that. I promise you, he does not feel like that. You may feel like he is, but he does not think that at all. He is thinking that he is fully suffering for his crimes, okay? Does that make sense, Allie? Oh, let me see. Charmaine, you said, does the 180 post to apply to everybody? Not everybody. What if my boyfriend calls me several times and tells me he loves me? If I don't reciprocate, he thinks that I'm mad at him. Okay, look, this is what I'm saying. With the 180, I like to add in a text clause. I want you to be able to text. Okay, wait, back up. The 180 is usually if they're not interested, if they are not paying attention to you, if they are not treating you well, if they're still with the other person, if they're still in limerence and they're still all in love with the other person. That's more what the 180 is for. But there are portions of the 180 that you should really do just on general purpose. Stuff like taking care of yourself, being fun to be around, not talking about the relationship all the time. Those things are still going to be things that apply. But the whole 180 is to draw their attention back around to you. That's what that's for. It is to take that, because they get all, the limerence makes them feel like they're all in love. When you switch up and do the stuff that's in the 180, what happens is you are switching up their perception of you, and then they're all of a sudden like, oh, I'm seeing you in a whole new light. And then they realize, oh, this is a person that I really do love. I cannot believe that I was looking at somebody else when I had this right in front of me. That's what that does. So, in the 180, it says, I think it's like number 11 or 12. It says not to say I love you. I say I love you. I don't think that that's one of those ones that you're supposed to do. If you love somebody, you should say it. That's it. It's a blessing. And I feel like if you love somebody and you're parting or you're meeting again, you should tell them that you love them. All right. But other than that, yeah, text them in the morning, text them at night. Say, good morning. I love you. I hope you have a great day. Stuff that they do not have to respond to. Okay. Not a question. Not, hey, what are you doing this morning? No, none of that. Good morning. I hope you're having a wonderful day. And I will, and call me later when you get a chance, that type of thing. All right. And then in the evening, a good night text. Good night. I love you. I miss you. I'm headed to bed now. Nothing that they have to respond to, and it doesn't make them respond. But then, in between that, if they call you or they text you, they're reaching out to you. It's not that you're trying to force them to do it, trying to get them to communicate with you. They are doing it because they're choosing to. They had this space where they're like, where is she at? Let me text her. And then he'll reach out to you, and then you'll be able to recognize, oh, he really does care. He really does want to talk to me. He really does miss me when I'm gone. And especially with men love to miss you, to be able to feel like they love you. They do. They just, it gives them something when they're away from you and they have that little time and that little space. And then that thought of you starts niggling in, and you're like, hey, I miss her. I'm thinking about her. That convinces them of their love, because they feel like love is a little bit of pain. It's a little bit of suffering. So if I'm suffering a little bit and missing you, I must really love you. So it's a good thing with the 180 if they're not paying attention, if they're still there, but they're kind of half out the door. You're not sure about the relationship. They're still acting up. They're still with the other person. But yeah, if you were, absolutely tell them you love them. I'm all for telling somebody you love them if you love them. Let's see. Betty said, yes, I see now. I'm going to keep healing. Good. All right. I'm glad that makes sense to you. Because for real, you're getting stuck on the snooping. Allie, you said you're a master snooper. You printed everything out in the trust issue. Not trust issues. The Big D challenge today. That was one of the challenges today, was to get rid of some evidence. To get rid of it, burn it, get it out of your face, because that's not going to help you later on. Having that printed out and having it near you and having it be something that you can just open up and read anytime you feel like it, it's not good for you. Stop snooping. Get out of stuff. You do not need to snoop anymore. If you got to snoop, then what are you doing? Why even bother if you got to keep on snooping? You should try and work on the trust. Trust is belief. Trust is not checking. Trust is not going through all your stuff and seeing exactly what you're doing and then saying, oh, I trust you. No, you didn't. No. Oh, past tense. Good job. I'm glad. No more printing stuff out. And throw something away too. Join me for the challenge. Throw something away too. Get rid of some of the evidence today if you haven't gotten rid of it. But yeah, the snooping is not actually trusting. It is, I checked, and so then I confirm that you're not doing anything. And you're not even really confirming. You can go through his whole phone. He could still have hidden it. It's not like it's impossible. We got digital stuff now, so you can go all through it, but it's still never going to convince you that nothing is going on if you don't want to believe that something is going on. So if you are stuck and you're like, no, I believe he is cheating on me, it's got to be something. It has to be. I am just anxious about that. I know that it has to be something going on, even though you have like no evidence. That's not. No, that's not going to help you to snoop. It's not going to help. It's not going to help you a bit. So what you're doing when you stop snooping and you just believe the best of the person that you love, that's trust. That's what it is. Believing in the goodness of somebody else, believing in their virtue is what trust is. That by definition, I promise you, that's what it says. So you have to believe in them, and belief is not verifying. Belief, faith in like God. You have never actually seen God come down and talk to you directly. You have faith that he exists. You believe. That's what that is. So, the stupid, you may think that it's helping, but usually it doesn't help very much. Alia said, I think it's trickier since our marriage predates all this technology. Yeah, ours did too. So we didn't have like, I had a cell phone. God, I had the cell phone like when I met him, but I had like a little flip phone and it was old. It was old back then. So yeah, we didn't have all of this starting off. So he couldn't do as much as he could later on because he just wasn't technologically like into all that. He didn't want a phone for a good long while. I made him get a phone because I was like, dude, I'm gonna have to get in contact with you. You got to be able to call me, talk to me. But yeah, for that first few years, like he wasn't able to do any of that, so he had to do doing, Oh, you say you're talking 82? Oh, good Lord. Yeah, that's way before our phones. I didn't definitely no cell phones back then, wasn't it, Allie? But it was harder in some ways to cheat, and it was easier in some ways to cheat back then. You didn't have the technology, so you didn't have as much access, but people seem to like keep secrets better back then, didn't they? I guess because people weren't videotaping everything. Maybe that's what it was. Everybody wasn't taping everything. Everybody didn't have recorders on their phone for everything to take pictures and whatnot. So you kind of get away with some stuff a little bit easier back then, couldn't you? Yeah. I totally feel you on that. But now we got all this technology and all this access, and the whole wide world is just spread before you. And that's a lot of power. People do the wrong things with power sometimes. They do. All right. See, I think you said chat room started. I met him on a chat line. Met my honey on the chat line. I met him on I don't remember what the name of it was, but it was like you could call in and you say your name and you leave a message, and then you listen to everybody else that said their name and left a message. I heard his voice and I was like, ooh, when I heard his voice, it gave me a little chill. The world tilted a little bit. I was like, oh, okay, I listened to what he had to say. I was like, I'm gonna get that. But it was a telephone chat line. It wasn't an internet chat line at all. I didn't even have a computer at that time, so it's a little weird, right? It's a little strange when that technology came in and all of that access to everything just happened all at once. It was a little bit. It was heady. It was a lot of power that came with the internet and with being able to just reach out to anybody, anytime, anywhere, being able to see anything you want, anytime, anywhere. It was. Yeah, I think it didn't do the best for us. It wasn't the best thing for us, but it was a beautiful shift in technology. It was a good thing that happened, but there were much more problems with relationships. You know what happened when cell phones came into fashion? People stopped being apart at work. Like, you have a cell phone on your hip now, so you can talk to each other like all freaking day long. I remember when you could not talk to somebody when they were at work. You couldn't reach out to them. You were not calling their desk line. You were not calling the main line. Oh, God forbid, don't call the main line and get the supervisor or whatever. You couldn't call people at work. And now people expect that, oh, I don't care if you're at work, you're still supposed to get back to me. Oh, no, you're not. You're supposed to have some time where you're doing what you're supposed to do. It does not mean you're supposed to be on the phone all the time just because you have a phone. That was one of those things that got kind of out of hand when the technology came into being. I feel like I'm dating myself, but that's okay. That's all right. All right. Any other questions, comments, thoughts, complaints? Let me make sure I saw everybody's comments. I think I did. I believe I got everybody that talked. Anybody else? Any other comments, thoughts? Any other questions you want to ask me? I'm a little shorter than I was last couple of times. Last couple of times I ran way over. I'm only 10 minutes over now, so it's not so bad. All right. But I just want to make sure that I talked to you, that I gave you some chances to ask me some questions. If you're watching this on the replay, feel free to ask me questions in the comments below. Or if you're watching on IGTV, DM me or ask me in the comments, because I want to hear from you. I want to talk to you. I want to give you encouragement to do this. I know that you love this person, and that is okay. You are doing the right thing, loving who you love. That there is nothing wrong with it. There is no shame to it. You should not feel guilty about it. You just love who you love. And so what? If somebody's mad about it, let them be mad, okay? Put a cape around them, let them be super mad if they need to. But no, don't get all wrapped up in what other people say about your relationship. If you've got that special thing, everybody's looking for it. Everybody in the whole wide world is looking for that special thing. And if you've got that special thing, you've got that special person, and you don't want to let it go, hell yeah, girl, I'm with you. I am with you. We're going to lock this thing down together. You are not going to have to let go of what you really, really want just because somebody else was a little bit of an idiot for a minute. My honey, he is the smartest man I know. He is one of the best men I know, but he was a complete idiot for like our first 4 years of marriage. Okay. First 4 years together, period. He was a total idiot. All right. He was having some problems. He had some mental health issues going on, but people get better. People do better when they know better. And so once he figured that out, once he figured out what was going on with him, he started knowing better, he started doing better, and he's a better and better husband every year. I am at the point where I don't hurt anymore. There are still triggers. Triggers will still exist, but you will not have to react to them anymore. They do not have to take over your time and your mind anymore once you get to the place of healing. You do not have to give up on what you want just because this bad thing happened to you. Just because of trauma, you ain't got to give up on what you want. I fully want you to get everything you want out of life. And all of that takes is practice. All that takes is actually going for what you want. All right. So I'm always going to help you with that. So hit me up. Let me know. If you are not in my Facebook group, it's called Love After Cheating. Come join my Facebook group. Make sure that you answer the membership questions, just because I don't let anybody in without saying something with the questions, agreeing to the rules and all that. But come and join me, because I do fun stuff like the Big D challenge in my group. So if you're not in my group, you're gonna miss me doing fun challenges and stuff that are going to help you along the healing path. I'm gonna be doing them all year. Got plans for this year, 2022. We are on this path. We are on the healing path. We are getting there this year. If you are with me right now, I'm telling you, in 6 months, you're gonna be in a whole nother place. So I just want you to come on and join my Love After Cheating group. If you are in my Love After Cheating group and you are not on my Instagram, why are you not following me on Instagram? Come on now. You know I love you. You love me. I want you to follow me. I want you to be part of my community on Instagram. I am just really getting into Instagram. I did not mess with Instagram at all before, but now my business coach told me that it's important. I need to be doing it. And it's fun. It's more fun than I thought it was going to be, especially since I'm doing more reels and videos and stuff. All right. And I'm on TikTok and I'm on YouTube. All Love Coach Dasha. So just find me with that. Love Coach Dasha everywhere on social media, and come join me. Like, subscribe, all of that stuff. All right. Woo. All right. I'm talking. Let's see. Anything else? Okay. Wait a minute. Question. Tara, you said he's constantly telling me he loves me, but I have trouble saying it back. I really need to work on that. I love him, but I'm not where I used to be with that. Well, if you love him, say you love him. Say it. If that is true, you just said I love him. Okay, say it. It's just the fact that the anxiety and the trauma tell you that that is vulnerable. It tells you that if you tell him you love him, you open up your heart to him, and that's scary. But the thing is, everything you want is on the other side of fear. Open your mouth, open that wall up. Okay, you do not have to keep a wall up in between you. It is not going to work the way you think it is. What is happening is you are keeping that wall up. You're trying to reach out for him a little bit, trying to reach through the bars on a window in the wall, but you are not actually opening up that wall. And so then you can come back and you can be hidden behind your wall, and then you can feel a little bit safer. But the problem with that is that going back and forth confuses your brain. It says that, oh, well, now we're afraid, so we should be afraid. And then it makes you cower, and it makes you isolate and draw back from him. But if you are saying, know what? I am throwing this wall down. I am going to give love. I'm going to receive love. Then your brain is like, oh, okay, I guess that's what we're doing now. We're not going to be afraid. All right, I guess that's what it is. The whole thing with the wall, keeping those walls up like that, because that's what that is, not offering that love. When you keep that wall up, you are trying to give out love, but it's hitting the wall and it's pulling at your feet. And so then it feels very pointless, and it feels so vulnerable because you're giving and giving and giving all this love, but it's not getting anywhere. It's not getting to the person that you want it to get to. And then on the other side of that, you want that love from him. You know that it's there. You know he could give it to you, but you got that wall up, and so it's hitting the wall instead of coming to you and giving you comfort and giving you joy. It's not doing that because you are letting it hit the wall and soak the ground on the other side of the wall. So what you got to do is build a door. That's what you need to do. If you can't stand to tear the whole wall down, build a door. Make sure that you're coming through and you stay on that side of the wall with your honey for a little while before you go cowering back behind the wall. But I'm all for tearing the wall down. I'm all for breaking it down brick by brick. And whatever it's made of in your head. I always say that the wall for me is blocks. It's big blocks. Some people, it's a big steel wall. It's just straight steel, shiny. There's no way to get through it. No impenetrable, no penetrable places. But for me, the wall, it's not like that anymore for me. It's not a steel wall. I can see my wall. Most of the wall is crumbled. I can walk around the wall. I don't have to really deal with it too much. All right. I think that's it. Is that it, everybody? I think that's all. I don't see any other questions. So, like I said, if you are not participating in my Big D Challenge, go over to my Facebook page and participate, or my Facebook group, and participate in the Big D Challenge. It's all about making this decision. That first step of the dreams formula, it's about making the decision and moving forward, and having confidence in your own decision. Terry says you're working on it. Break that wall down, girl. Break it down. Just say it. And if you feel it in any way, shape, or form, even if it's just a little bit, I don't care what it is. I don't care who it is. If you love someone, you should say so. You should not leave that unsaid. You should say it, even if it's only a little bit, even if it's not as big as it used to be. You should still say it. You should still get it out into the world, because loving is not bad. Loving and putting that out into the world creates beauty inside your world. So I don't want you to be afraid of that. Go for it. Tell them you love them. Tell them, even if it's not like you used to, because you're not going to always feel exactly the same way. You're not. It goes up and down. And that's just regular relationships. That's not even dealing with the trauma. Just on general purpose, it goes up and down. Sometimes you really, really love them. Sometimes you're like, oh, I can't stand you. And it goes up and down during the relationship. It's not out of the ordinary not to feel so passionately in love with somebody. The in love feeling is mostly hormones. And so that only comes and goes. It doesn't stay like that forever. People think that it's supposed to be like that. Oh, well, if I really feel love, then I'll be just sick about him. I won't be able to sleep. I won't be able to eat. That's hormones. That is not real love. That is not making a decision and making a commitment love. That's just infatuation. So a lot of people think that that's the same thing, but it's not. Whew. All right. I think that's it. I think that's all I got. I don't see any other questions, but if you're catching this on the replay, feel free to ask me questions. I want to answer you. I want to help you get on the healing path. In the meantime, let's see. Let me give you an affirmation for this week. The affirmation for this week shall be: I am worthy of breathtaking love. How about that? That's always one of my favorite. I am worthy of breathtaking love. But you got to open yourself up to that if you're going to get it. All right. And let's see. Stay on the healing path. Do not do what the fear tells you to do. And meet me back here next week, Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Healing Hour Live if you're trying to get on this healing path after infidelity. All right? That's it. That's all. That's all I got for you. I'm about to go. I will talk to you again next week. Thank you so much for joining me. All right? I'll see you later. Bye. You're choosing love over fear. I see you. I see you choosing love over fear. That's what I'm saying. Big D challenge. All right, y'all. Bye.